Hello everyone and welcome back to another dev stream. So my name is Pyrit, I am the community manager for Vigor and I'm here with Pettka,
Hi.
Our project lead, and today we are going to talk about all of the things that have happened those past few weeks, and anything that you might want to know, just put the questions in the chat because this time there weren't that many questions asked beforehand. So if you have any questions, just put them there right now and we will answer them eventually.
Yes, please do so.
Exactly. So hello everyone in the chat. Say hi if you're there so we can see that you're there.
Like we've already seen that our partners are in the chat. That's great to see the familiar faces there.
Exactly. Oh. Thank you so much. It was for me or for...
Indeed, for you.
By any chance, is there an idea for more than duo? Well, obviously, this is something that we answer almost every dev stream. We have plans for bigger squads in the future, but for now, we want to stick to duos, at least until the full release of the game. That's
exactly. Yeah. Like currently, with airdrop being the primary source of rewards, duos make most sense. Like, yeah, they are the possibility to go alone, which makes the most sense. And then, if you want to go there in duos, feel free to do so, because it builds some more tension in the duo. Like, you can see more duos around you.
Exactly.
And there are even double rewards for the encounters where duos are present, so that's cool for everyone, not only for the people who are there in duo. Yeah. But still, like for the main release, we are considering to add random duos, which is something that would possibly help people to play duos a bit more. Currently, we don't observe that many duos compared to solo players, and if you are able to just go into the matchmaking, and then in the lobby be paired with someone, that could possibly change the behavior a bit.
Yes, exactly. This is actually something that you could have found on our official website. I will just quickly show you. So on our website, you just go to the news, and here it is. Here are all of the things that we are currently working on or discussing, and we would love them in the future to be part of the game. So random duos are part of that list, along with, like, you know, the founder spec shirt, achievements, lobby voice chat, localization, better interactions, you know, movement and shooting polish, which is obviously something that is the most requested, and
our
stuff like that.
Focus, yeah. Like making the interactions and shooting better, it's our primary focus now, because that's something that you've requested a lot, and we are hearing those voices. We see a lot of videos that you provide to us, like the clips from the community helps us to actually see the causes of the issues that we have, and we are working towards making shooting more enjoyable for you, while maintaining like the really hard difficulty of hitting the target.
Yes, exactly. This is actually something that I would love to mention, that it is obviously always great when you mention bugs and things that are not working properly, but if you include like video or at least a screenshot of it, it is always better for us to find it, recreate it, and then work with it, because sometimes you are experiencing some kind of issue, but we do not necessarily know by what it is caused when we do not have, like, you know, the video or something. So videos are the most helpful.
Yeah. On the other hand, sometimes we know from the very beginning what's the cause, and many times we have that already fixed, like in our development version, and it's just waiting for us to release it to the public, because we are updating even the 0.8 version of the game a lot.
I encountered an airdrop with 2 crates in a solo game.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I mentioned. Like, if there is an encounter and there are both duos and solos, then for everyone there's the airdrop with 2 crates. So that means that if you are solo there, it helps you to get better rewards for the risk that you've been in an encounter with the duo.
Anyway, is there someone with us in the encounter? Is anyone from the chat playing right now? Let us know, definitely. Anyway, any plans on making more points of interest? That is an interesting question, actually.
Yeah. Like there's a plenty of points now being present, and we would like to keep the current numbers because we feel like that's just enough. There's many points for the players to investigate themselves, like someone already found the killer's hut and stuff like that, which was interesting to see how you react to that. So yeah, like we are enjoying the exploration part of the game a lot and observing it because, as you may have noticed, we are watching quite a lot of streams, quite a lot of videos, and yeah, we are not everywhere. But sometimes it feels so.
Like that would be really hard, but yeah, many people from our team are watching the streams, even like in their free time and stuff like that, you know, like just watching how you guys enjoy it and getting the feedback right when you're playing. It is incredible. So keep on doing that and letting us know and tagging us in your posts on social media if you start streaming, because that helps us to discover you. From the chat, my duo buddy always accidentally takes both packages. Well, yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, that's something that we realized from the very beginning, that it's such an opportunity. So that's why currently you are able to partner only with people who are friends with you. So in the end, you know who exactly took everything, and it's up to you to play with them again. Should we introduce the random duos, we would need to have some mechanisms to prevent those issues, because I could imagine that people would be, for example, getting into the encounters just to get the weapons and equipment from other people.
Yeah, that is actually really true. But
one small thing that you may have noticed just a moment ago is that we've done some tweaks on the back-end servers. So currently you are now finally able to get even consumables from the encounters properly, because that wasn't so before. So yeah, I've got the disinfectant, if I'm not mistaken, from one of those crates. So currently there's more of them spread across the encounters, and that should provide you with more opportunities to stay in the encounter a bit longer.
Exactly. So anyway, is there something you guys would love to ask? You know, if you have checked all of the articles from our news page, is there something that you do not necessarily understand or you would ask more about? Let us know in the chat, because right now we have time to answer that. Can you play for free right now? Asking for a friend. I have Founder's Bag.
Indeed. Like currently you can pay for free for 2 hours, like the trial, and afterwards you need to buy the Founder's Pack. So that's the current status. The free-to-play release is planned to this summer, and we would like to prepare that for everyone to play for free. So currently it's still limited to the Founder's Pack owners. So only if you own it or someone in your family does so, you can play unlimited, but otherwise you would need to use the 2 hours of trial, which is still plenty of time.
Great question in the chat. Jumping and not being able to shoot, is that by design? Well, actually it is.
Actually it is, yeah, because when you are jumping you don't want to shoot. It would move you a lot in the air, so this is something that's not being done even by the professional military, so I don't expect Outlanders to do so.
Yes, exactly. But I think that it was actually possible to jump and shoot for quite some time, and it was fixed in the last few updates, I think.
Like, that reminded me of the old times of Counter-Strike, like 1.6 or something like that, when you were bunny hopping around the map and shooting people with Arctic Warfare. So no, that's not possible in Vigor anymore.
Will we see more female archetypes? Well, definitely in the future. That is for sure. And there will be even like more customizations for the female archetypes and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
more hair and so on and so on.
Yeah, like currently, as far as I've seen, there are 3 female archetypes ready. So we are preparing that to be released with the free-to-play launch of the title. So you can choose your own archetype even for the women.
Are there plans to add a lean or peak mechanism, like peeking from the wall or something?
We've considered that, but currently we are already fighting the possibilities of the controller a lot. We realize that indeed, while there's the possibility to do so, not many people even use the possibility to switch your shoulder. So that may be the option to possibly remove that and instead do some peeking around the corner. But as there's too few covers to do so, we are considering that, but I don't think it's going to make it anytime soon.
Exactly, thank you. And are there any plans to make the blueprints obtainable in different ways?
Indeed, like currently the only way how to obtain the blueprint is to get it from the airdrop crate, but eventually we would like to introduce more ways how to do so. That has a lot to do with the functionalities that we are preparing for later on, and I cannot share more details with you, but yeah, as you can imagine, there's going to be more ways how to obtain blueprints, more ways how to obtain different stuff. Like one of them has been already teased, and that's going to be the daily rewards, because as you are going to get the possibility to get daily rewards for various challenges, those rewards may even contain stuff like the crates, and those crates could contain the blueprints, so that could be a way for you to obtain the blueprints if you are not able to do so otherwise, or if you are not willing to do so otherwise, to be precise.
Exactly, this is really exciting stuff, as for quite some time already people were pretty, even like newcomers were confused how they should get the blueprints because they were not familiar with the airdrop kind of thing, that you can only get them from the airdrop. So hearing that there will be more ways will be definitely really exciting for at least some people.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, because as you may have seen, I'm not much of a shooter person. I've even dodged one encounter when someone was running just in front of me, because why would I kill those people? But sometimes the only way how to progress more is go through more risk and go for the airdrop. So then I usually suit myself to do so. Currently I was just on the run for the nails, and yeah, like I could imagine that if there's different way how to do so, I would possibly do so. Yeah,
Wow,
good
pretty
nails.
nice. A lot of loot. Anyway, before we jump into the next encounter, I would love to talk about one thing. We are obviously going to also release a whole article about this in the future. But for now, let's talk about the vibe of progression. So I will just quickly switch to a different screen. So here you can see that obviously with the full release of the game, we plan to have some kind of vibe of progression. This is unavoidable.
Yep.
You know, we have stated it almost everywhere, like not almost everywhere, everywhere. And people were really confused on how well it will be compensated to players. So here you can see it.
Yeah, like the thing is that there are many reasons to do so. It's not just we want to have everyone on the common ground or something like that. The major reason is that in the back end we are having different solutions being worked on, and having those actually working requires some huge technical changes. So that would mean that it's much easier for us to convert those stuff, to convert those stuff, to wipe it everything, we've decided in all the categories that if that category, like for example, weapons in your stash requires a wipe or not. And in the end, we realized, yeah, most of the things require the wipe for some reason. So in the end, we decided that unfortunately, we are going to wipe your progression, but on the other hand, we are going to provide you with some reward for everything that we've done already.
Exactly. So just to summarize, you will get a common crate for every 5 shelter improvement levels, and an extra common crate for upgrading all shelter improvements to maximum level. You will also get some rare crates for each shelter level, plus an extra rare crate for reaching shelter level 12. And you will also get all of the crowns that you have purchased, that you have spent, that you have found in the game after the wipe. So this is something that people ask quite a lot about, like what will happen to the crowns and why should they buy boosters when they will lose it all. You won't lose anything. In fact, it is much better to try it out now to see which booster fits you the most, you know, what do you enjoy, and then you will get it everything back and suddenly you will have all those crowns to spend once again. And we even like plan to add more things into the system, you know, like customizations and stuff like that in the future. So I would highly advise you to try it out.
Yeah, like the thing is that even the rewards were proposed by the community, so we were happy to see that you guys are aligned with us on the way how to do so. So yeah, we are going through the shelter levels, and based on that, and based on the number of the improvements, we are going to provide you with some rewards that are going to A, compensate for the time you spent, and B, prepare you for the next encounters with all the stuff that you found in those crates.
Exactly. So let's see, what do you guys think in the chat about these? So right now I see I really like that rewards idea, so thank you so much. Okay, that's not bad. Also glad to hear. A vibe is always a good thing. Better things are ahead, bigger player base, and we can play it more. Win-win. Well, that is exactly it. And someone is saying that rewards players for looting and building. Well, yeah, because it is a huge part of the game, actually.
Indeed. Yeah.
Like you can obviously, you know, kill other people and hunt other people, but even in the game you are not necessarily getting like any reward for that other than their loot. So it makes, you know, bigger sense to get a reward for building your shelter, making your life easier in the post-war Norway.
Exactly. Like rebuilding the shelter is the main theme of the game. Like sometimes when I'm asked like what's the difference between like battle royale survival games and Vigor, then the easy answer is there is a shelter for you to make, like some progression that you make actually between those encounters. So it's not just about the one-offs, but it's all about making something, rebuilding the world and preparing yourself to live in the post-war Norway.
Exactly. So once again, to clarify, someone on Mixer is asking, so if I spend my crowns now, I will get them back at full release. Yes, this is exactly what is going to happen. You will get them all back. So now is the best time to experiment with them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you are actually going to get the value twice, like once for the encounters that you play now, and then once more for the encounters that you are going to play after the release of the game.
And another one for, okay.
One thing to mention is that indeed we are going to announce the vibe of the progression in the game before it happens. So you are going to get some notifications that this is going to happen, so you know what actually is going to happen and how many crates are going to get as a reward.
Yes, exactly. Like we definitely do want to do that. You will get a notification in game, obviously on all of our social media. We will also try to share this as much as possible and as soon as possible, so you can go, you know, crazy with your loadout, basically, which is something that some of our players were kind of unhappy with the first wipe.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was out of nowhere, so we've realized that's not the best way how to do that, and we would like to announce that well in ahead, so you have the possibility to use oral weapons and go just wild with them.
When are we getting the new bridge map?
Just wait for it. Like
Yeah.
we have a handful of maps being prepared, and the map with the bridge, as you call it, that's going to be one of them, and it's going to take some time before we are ready to put it out into the wilds, because yeah, it needs some testing, and we would like to have some special opportunity to show it to you, like even in the streams or possibly in the game.
Yep. And people actually seem to really like this new map, which is going on. So stay tuned, guys. It looks really awesome. Any plans for cheaper loot boosting? Interesting question indeed. So right now the boosters are not around for that long of a time. Currently we are obviously like gathering all the data and all the feedback, and we will see maybe some tweaks will happen in the future, but for now we are still in the stage where we are testing this system.
Exactly. Like we are gathering your feedback, we are gathering the data in the game on how much is it actually being used, and based on that we are going to tweak that accordingly, so you may expect that yeah, we may change the values for both the cost or the effects of those boosters, so it may boost more or less based on what we found in the data.
Exactly. Someone is asking, are you a large dev team?
Well, that's really hard to tell, because what's the large dev team like? Indeed, we are much bigger than the usual like 4-man dev squad for the indie games, but currently the team consists of roughly 60 people. So it's not that big. Like I could imagine if the team was, for example, working on Frostbite, then that would be just for the shaders. But yeah, like as we are not that big, the communication is the key to make everything working fluent. So it's really cool to know all the people in the team by name, and knowing what they are working on, and helping them, helping each other. Like the communication between the team is really great, and creates some positive vibe.
Exactly. So anyway, as I have said, this time there weren't that many questions on our forum, but I have managed to gather some questions from our Facebook page. So when can we expect the complete overhaul for aiming? Also, please give us option to make the crosshair smaller and in different shapes. I would like a crosshair with a dot in the middle. Wow, that is a lot of feedback, which we hear a lot.
Like the thing is that even currently as we speak, we have a completely different version of shooting in our dev builds, but it's still not there. Like there are still improvements to be made. So I cannot promise you any solid date on when exactly are we going to do so. I would like to have that before the main release of the game, because the shooting as it is now still needs quite a lot of tweaking, and the hit registration and stuff like that needs some improvements in that regard. On the other hand, we've done some huge changes on the loot distribution and the way the loot behaves in the game, which means that while the servers that are now out run around 50 FPS, currently our internal servers run well over 60, and they have like twice or 4 times as much loot in them, because the loot was the thing that was breaking the performance the most. So currently there's been a huge improvement thanks to our programmers, and they've managed to put quite a lot of performance into the servers now.
And the second question was also
about the crosshairs, yeah. So As for the crosshairs, that's something that we are considering. We are thinking about how to do that properly, because we would like to have at least the option to have different colors of your crosshair as an option for you. So this is something that would be easy. And as for the shapes of the crosshair, currently we don't have any solid plan in that regard, but we are considering having different shapes, for example, for different kinds of weapons. So if you go with shotgun, it's going to have different shape than if you are going out with the SMG, for example.
Yes, exactly. And even like the color is the most common complaint, I would say, rather than like the shape. But the color is...
Yeah, like as you can see, I'm now on the snow map, and it doesn't work that well with the white color of the crosshair. On the other hand, on all the different maps, it works better. So yeah, it really depends on the environment you are actually fighting in.
Exactly. Anyway, I will just quickly jump into the chat. Tsar Dino is writing, became my favorite game after playing it once.
Wow, thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's so sweet. We have needed something with an Escape from Tarkov feel to it on console for a long time. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. What about in the Twitch chat?
Yeah, I would just like to mention that while the game looks in many regards like Escape from Tarkov, like it's not any kind of Escape from Tarkov clone. Like indeed, like in the development teams got inspired by different games and stuff like that. But Vigor was in development process in the way it is now, way before we even know that there's going to be any Tarkov. So yeah, like while guys from Escape from Tarkov did the game really well, we are doing something quite different, I would say. Like for example, the way we handle weapons and stuff like that is way different from Tarkov. Like indeed, for the guys who like the weapons most, I would say that Escape from Tarkov is the way to go, because they are much more detailed in the way how you can customize the weapons and stuff like that. While here we are more about the rebuilding the world, and the shooting is like more of a supportive role in that regard.
Yep, that is right.
Like you need to defend yourself, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see if you have any questions, guys, regarding what Pettka just said or anything else that you would love to ask. Put them in the chat, and I will just quickly jump to the next two questions. So I have just now seen a similar question in the chat, which is a PC version. Vigor is an Xbox exclusive game, so that's an answer to that question. And gonna be bringing bow and arrows to the game. Well, this is actually something that we get quite a lot too.
Yeah.
That people would love to see that.
Yeah, like first we need to get the shooting right, and
Yes,
once
right.
we are able to do so, we can possibly add even those exotic weapons like bow or crossbows, stuff like that. But currently, as it is, I would still more focus on things like getting the shooting right, and being able to actually enjoy the shooting and getting what you can from the shooter. And then eventually we can add more things that make it more interesting for people.
Will we ever be able to drive the vehicles? Well, we haven't had this question for a while now. I think, yeah, this question was last asked like in one of our first dev streams.
Exactly.
But we do not plan to do that. Basically, when you go inside of the encounter, you kind of have an idea already that the encounters aren't that large.
Yeah.
In fact, they are like 1 kilometer to 1 kilometer kind of square. So it would be pointless to use vehicle in like that environment.
Exactly. Like that's one thing. The other thing is that the way the vehicles were portrayed in like 0.5, it was mostly about the loot in them.
Yeah.
But currently, as most of the loot is distributed evenly across the map, and provides you with different opportunities on where to find the loot. Oh man, I just forgot that I have too many things in my inventory. Looted way too much.
Yeah.
With that in mind, it doesn't make sense to have the vehicles movable. They are more used for you to get some cover and
exactly.
have
Cover
some tactical situation around you.
Will we ever be able to play duos with random players? A nice question. This is something that we are currently working on, as you could have seen on our official website. Boom, here you have it. Just have a quick look. You can always go to vigorgame.com/news, and here you have all of the articles about our work in progress, about our latest updates and what we plan to do in the future. So here you have a handy guide of what we are currently working on and would love to have inside of the game in the future.
Just please keep in mind that it doesn't tell when exactly that's going to happen. Like, while we would like to have everything in the game right now, it just takes time to deliver it properly. Like, there are many ideas that we would like to polish and make it proper. So keep that in mind, please, because otherwise you may possibly get disappointed that we've mentioned that we are going to add random duos, but they are not in the game now.
Yes, exactly. This is like something, game development gets so tricky sometimes. Everything and anything can go wrong at any time. So we want to be as open as possible with you, but at the same time, there is a high chance that something will go wrong and we will have to change our plans a little bit.
Yeah. Like, one thing is to have a great idea. On the other hand, it may look great on the paper, and then in the game, when we try it in the prototype, it doesn't work as it should. Or even later on, we realize that, it looked great, but in the end, it doesn't work as it should. So at that time, we need to just decide that, this is not going to make it into the game, or just yet. There are many things that we would like to add to the game, but it may take some time to make them proper. Like, we would definitely like to tell you more about the development process and the way how we develop each of the features, so you can know more about the way what to expect, or what can you see. So this is something why we are, for example, doing this stream right now.
Yes, exactly. But there are many things that can be misinterpreted, and some things just really take a lot of time to develop. So that is why we are trying to let you know about upcoming things as soon as possible. But at the same time, we want to keep you surprised, a little bit on your
Those,
yeah, exactly. Well, nice.
Yeah.
Full.
Much better than expected.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy I supported this game preview. Thank you so much.
We're glad to hear that. We're glad to hear that. You were asking about the ricochets of the bullets. Like, the simulation of the bullet allows to ricochet a lot. If you are shooting on something under a certain angle, the bullets are going to ricochet much more than if you are shooting at something directly. So this is one of the things that we try to do as best as possible to show how the bullets actually behave. So the main thing is that we don't have any ray tracing for shooting or anything like that. We are having the actual bullets that behave like bullets and can possibly ricochet or get lost, or they have the velocity. So if you are shooting at someone, it takes some time for the bullet to travel the distance.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, hope that answered your question. I also see Uncle Pipi saying, I would love to see more Vigor merge for big-sized Outlanders. Wow, that is really nice, actually. We will have to share this with the team.
Indeed. Like, you've already asked about the caps, so that's something that we are considering how to do that. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Anyway, I still have, I think, one more question to go. Can you guys please add name tags to teammates so I don't team kill? So once again, everything is on our official website that we are currently working on the markers above your teammates, which would be really great. Once again, we are currently testing it, seeing how it would work and stuff like that. But we definitely do not have like the whole name tag going on. That would just doesn't suit our game all that well. But just a small marker would be really great. I even think that I have it somewhere on one of the...
Yeah, there was a screenshot of that that showed how the one of the concepts of the markers actually looks like.
Yeah,
so
I
you have
have
a
it
small
right here.
triangle above the head.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of the concepts, and we are now trying which works best for us, and if we are even going to have the markers in the end or not. Like it's not yet set in stone, but we would like to have some distinction for the buddies.
Yes, exactly, because there were like many opinions, even if in the community some people really like crave those, while others appreciate them not being there because it makes the game slightly harder for them, and you know, the conversation between the two teammates is then a necessity, you know, and clear communication. So we will see how that goes. Let us know in the chat, what do you think about it?
Yeah, like I really enjoy the necessity to communicate between each other, so I need to tell my buddy that I'm going somewhere, and then if I get shot by the partner, then it's just all my fault because I didn't communicate properly.
And we have an opinion in the chat. I don't think they should add name tags. I think they should add more closing items you can buy with the coins, helping you identify your teammates. Thank you for your feedback. And let's see. In the second chat, thank you so much for the partnership. I will look forward to rewatching the stream. I'm on my break at work.
Wow.
Glad to hear we will be posting the VOD of this stream tomorrow, so we will be able to catch up with us on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So if you want, you can see all of our dev streams there.
Yeah, like indeed, the real life makes sense to have the priority. Like if you are ill or if you are just at work, then just wait for the video on demand, and we are going to showcase that to you soon.
Will there be more Outlanders in each map?
Like currently, we are pretty happy with the numbers of Outlanders in the map. Like in most of the maps, it's up to 12 Outlanders per encounter, which is just enough to have some chance to spot someone every now and then, or if you are, for example, going for the airdrop, then rarely it gets unattended. Like I usually see 2 to 3 people camping around the airdrop using the radar station, radio station. I'm sorry, and yeah, like I see people around the airdrop and then decide if I should go in or not. So yeah, I really like this event to be in.
That's right. And one more feedback from the chat. I love all of the little details on guns. Hashtag kill for mom.
Cool.
Yeah, this is really
Thanks
sweet.
a lot.
I love them too.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'm even surprised on how many details are there, because sometimes the artists just add some details in the very end, and it's like, okay, I'm playing with different gun this time, and wow, it looks different than I'm used to. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And like, especially at the beginning of the development, I was always surprised to see like all of the new weapons with those little details, you know, which either I have found out by playing, or it was displayed like on one of our meetings or something like that. It was really nice to see, and especially when people started to realize that many weapons have those little details, they started posting it on social media and stuff like that, which is really cool. By the way, guys, every Friday now I will be doing a re-sharing kind of situation on our Instagram, so if you want, always tag us in your Vigor related posts, so I will make sure to reshare them in our stories and make sure to also add them to our stories collections, so you will be there forever.
Yeah. Yeah, so now it's just a handful of people in the map I didn't encounter, so let's see how it's going to happen. Like, I'm going to add more loot to the encounter because that always helps, as I'm building the shelter now. So.
Oh, and also, guys, let us know which booster do you use the
please.
most, and which one is your favorite, which one do you find the most helpful. Let us know in the chat, because we would love to know. This is actually really interesting to see what ideas and feedback do you have.
Ouch. It seems like I'm going to be in a serious trouble.
Why?
Bob is after me.
Oh, I was not watching the chat right now.
I've seen it in the lobby. Wow. So now I have to be really careful, because Bobby knows how to play the game.
Yes, exactly. This is going to be really intense. And it is always so hard to like do the dev stream and at the same time play, so
Yeah.
you are in a great disadvantage right now.
Indeed. Like, it even happened to me that out of nowhere I was playing against one of our partners just on the free play for me, and I didn't realize so. Unfortunately, I met him at the doors, and I was faster than him while shooting. Hello, Rex. Yeah, like, he hit me once.
Yeah, it is always so nice to see like the familiar names in the lobby.
Yeah.
That's really cool, and we always have like so many people asking about which dev was it, because we have like the name tags like dev, like Bohemia Dev 1 and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Make sure to post your screenshots with the devs.
Yeah, and then I went to his stream and apologized for that. Because that was totally unintended. Like, I just opened the door and he was standing there.
I love what you are doing. Awesome game, guys.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm very happy to hear that.
And have we answered the last question? Yeah, we already did. So anyway, next time, guys, make sure to ask before the dev stream, because it is always better when we have just the questions, pre-prepared and stuff like that, so we can make sure to address them all. We always have like a thread on our forum where you can ask, so make sure to use it next time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let us know about your favorite boosters in the chat.
Please.
I haven't seen one single booster there, so let us know right now. And obviously include any questions that you might have. We have first answer, insurance. I can see that. Definitely seems like one of the most popular options.
Yeah. Like, according to our data, people actually like the insurance, which is interesting for us, because the losing of your weapons and the stuff that you've got. Ouch, that was fast.
Ooh, no, that was
cool.
Quick and cool at the same time.
Yeah. Got me.
Okay.
Nice. Congratulations,
Nice job.
sir. Wow. That was cool. That was cool.
And it was
Totally
really
worth
fast.
it.
You must have been really lucky,
Yeah.
But anyway, as you can see, insurance would have kept your loadout safe. Activated in lobby.
Yeah, like, the way I perceive the insurance is that it just saves you some time, because eventually you are able to get the weapons that you are going to craft for yourself. Yeah, it doesn't matter that much if I lose my weapon or not. Like, at the very beginning, if I get some really cool weapon like ADR, then yeah, I would be sad that I'm losing it. But on the other hand, I have plenty of other guns even on this account, so no worries for me. And I have plenty of weapon parts, everything. So it's just about not being afraid to lose the stuff. And the same goes if you are later in the game, like you have everything that you own. You don't need to worry about the weapons and stuff like that. So it makes it the same way for you even at the very beginning. So yeah, like sometimes I hear that it makes people reckless. I think that even the ability of have too many weapons in your stash makes you reckless a bit. So it doesn't change the behavior of people that much, I would say.
Yes, exactly. Like, I even see one feedback in the chat right now that he does not like the insurance booster because he thinks that it takes away from the excitement. But at the same time, you know, no one is really using like the insurance all the time. You usually use it like only if you have the best weapons, or if you are really like going to only loot and get out or something like that. Yeah, this time it comes handy, but you definitely cannot use it all the time, so there is still an excitement going on, I would say.
Yeah, and I can definitely relate to people who are using the insurance booster just to save their time, because yeah, when I go home I don't have that much time to play, as I'm taking care of the family. So yeah, I'm spending my time with the family, and then I go play for just a brief moment. So I gladly spend some money on the insurance booster to not lose the progress, or at least make the progression a bit faster. Yeah. On the other hand, if you want to go through that and try every encounter without the insurance, it's completely fine. Like, it's not mandatory for anyone, and you can just play and have a lot of fun. It depends on your play style.
Someone is hoping to get in the encounter with us, so we will see. Hopefully, let us know if we are there. Vigor the game. Do you know that the com station is glitched in the Olaf's farm? In its current location, you can't activate it. Definitely shouldn't be. We will make sure to look into this.
Like, we'll double check that. Thanks a lot for the report.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure that I was able to interact with that recently, but it may be that it doesn't work that well all the time. So we'll definitely give this a try and see how it works. Like, our QA is definitely on that. Thanks a lot.
I'm late. What did I miss? Well, anything and everything we have just said. No, like, really, we were just talking about the vibe of progression, which is one of the really important things. Other than that, we were mostly talking about the stuff that was already released in our late, like, articles, you know, about the free weekend and about the road to the full release. So you can find everything there. Just go to the vigorgame.com/news and you will find all of the articles there. Other thing we were discussing was the vibe, which you can kind of see here. We have already discussed it, so it would be the best if you could watch the VOD of this stream, but there is an article, a whole article about the vibe of progression incoming in the next few days, so you will get all of the info you need there.
And you got mentioned, Rex, like the point when I shut you down. But then you've missed how Bobby eliminated me, so yeah.
I hope you guys are having a great time. Yes, we in fact are. And this particular day was quite great because we are also preparing a dev diary for you guys. So get hyped for that. Hopefully it will be out in the next few weeks. So
yeah, we are looking forward to sharing the news with you.
Anyway, any questions, put them in the chat right now.
Yeah, and as you possibly know from the blogs that we've already released, there's going to be 2 more of them, so we are going to share them with you pretty soon. So is there Bobby? He's not there. Okay, I'm safe. I'm safe.
We are safe this time. So anyway, did anyone get inside with us? No? No? Okay. Sad story.
Yeah. The good thing is that still, as I used the more loot booster, I contributed to the whole encounter. So Bobby not only killed me, but got more loot. So totally worth it.
Exactly. Which is also something that we have mentioned quite a few times, how the whole booster system works and stuff like that. There is a really handy article on our forum, and there will be also a separate article on our website in the next few days. So if you haven't had an idea what the boosters are all about until now, you will get to know with the article.
Yeah.
And you can always ask our community. It is so great to see you guys like interacting with each other, you know, on all of our social media and especially on Discord and Reddit.
Yep.
So yeah.
Like we try to check everything, but yeah, if you go to our forums, you are safe to be read, and all the other networks are being checked by us on a regular basis. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like even like when it comes to the Reddit, I sometimes even try to answer the question,
Yeah.
but it has been already answered like
Several times.
yeah, exactly.
Like you guys are great, like at answering those questions.
Any news on trading? Well, not necessarily any news. I would say there are not any news. I was already talking about this on our social media quite a lot lately. You know, because there was a discussion about how you can, for example, like exchange weapons with your teammate if there will be an official way to do so, because there are quite a few like unofficial ways how you can do that. I'm obviously not going to tell you because they are unofficial ways, but I would advise you to ask our community how to do that. But basically, we do not want to like restrict this completely. That wouldn't even be possible. But we do not want to support this behavior just simply because the game is currently not like suitable for a whole trading system.
Exactly.
It would like create unfair environment, and you know, like there are so many things that we would have to change and tweak.
Like Roman would explain that to you a lot more than I would be able to, but yeah, you are going to hear him, for example, during the dev diary explaining how the game actually works in that regard. So
yes, exactly.
Wait for that and hear it for yourself.
Any new ways to get blueprints? We have already covered this topic in this dev stream, but I will just quickly try to explain one more time. So we are currently thinking of a new ways how you will be able to get blueprints. You know, this is something that has been, you know, discussed quite a lot in our community, so we are listening. And we will see what the future will bring.
Yeah.
And let's see, any questions? Put them in the chat. Right now, we still have barely around 10 minutes or so. So if you have questions, right now is the right time to...
Is there someone around me?
Hopefully not.
No. Is there Bobby?
Nice.
Is there somewhere around? Someone's around. Yay! Run like
This is like so intense all the time.
I like run. Okay, I'm safe. Now I can check. There are too many people around. Let's change the location.
And they are pretty nicely spread, like around the whole map.
They are everywhere.
Will you guys be adding a name tag for teammates and or a minimap? We have already discussed it multiple times that we do not want to add minimap. Just to keep it as clean as possible.
Exactly.
And also today we have covered the topic of the name tag for teammates. We do not want to have like the whole name tag, but we are currently like testing and working with the idea of having marker above teammates, which you could have seen on our web. I will just jump there one more time so you can see that here we are currently testing something like that. So that would be it if we decide that it is good to go.
Yeah, like we are testing the idea if it works as it should, and based on that we are going to either release it or think about something different. Like this kind of ties to the topic of the random duos. So those two are kind of tied together. Like if you are in the random duo, it may possibly behave a bit different than if you are in a duo with the buddy. So yeah, the behavior can change a bit.
Will I be able to go back and rewatch the full stream? Yes, always. There is always a vote on both the Twitch and our Mixer channel, and I will be also posting the vote on our YouTube channel tomorrow, so you will be definitely able to catch up with us tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you have any more questions, you can always put them in the comment section on YouTube, which I also go through like on a daily basis almost. So.
Yeah, or feel free to use our forums, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, anything.
Anything
Discord,
and everything.
yeah.
We are everywhere, and also Instagram. So.
Yeah.
Time frame for the next map. As we have said, we are currently working on it. You could have seen a small sneak peek on our web. So one more time, I will just quickly show you. There is even the work in progress, so this is definitely not a full polished product. But yeah, we are working on it, but there is no like ETA or anything just yet. You know, creating a whole new map is something really complex and takes a lot of time. So right now we are really focusing on polishing, creating, developing the game, and then we will start adding more and more.
And still with all the new stuff being added, like new events and stuff like that, it takes a bit more time to incorporate that into the old maps and then making the new maps with that in mind. So yeah, the development of the maps definitely not an easy thing to do.
Will more weapon challenges be made available in the shooting range, and is it possible to add moving targets in the shooting range? Well, like...
That's definitely something that we are considering, like that's something that you guys actually help us with a lot with, because we are considering that based on our data, how much do you actually use those shooting challenges, and based on that we are going to decide how much love are we going to add to them, or if we are going to keep them at all. So this is something that's still up to the decision. Currently we can see that people are way better than we expected at some of those challenges.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, it's like insane. So the best times that we've seen are really insane. That's really cool to see. And yeah, we are thinking about the ways how to improve them possibly in the future.
Yes, like the data can be really surprising sometimes. Like if you have seen on our social media, we sometimes do share some of our data. Most of the time they are just interesting or in some ways funny. And the last Vigor data were super exciting because apparently there were 609 people that died by an airdrop dropping on them in the tutorial, and I was like, oh my god, how is this even possible? Like in the tutorial I was I was completely destroyed.
Yeah, just a spoiler for you, we are working on the tutorial, like completely reworking it. As it's mentioned at the very beginning of the game, there's a disclaimer that the tutorial is going to be changed, so yeah, we are working on that, and you can expect that to be a new experience once you launch the game after the vibes there.
Great question in the chat. Are you guys excited about rolling out the new shooting mechanics? How far into the process do you think you are?
Like, we are pretty excited about the progress there. We have quite a lot of new tools to debug or give it a try and see how it actually behaves. So we are observing on how it actually behaves. So this is something that we are working on now.
Exactly.
Yeah, like there's no solid state of that, because every time we find some issue and fix it, there's more of them to fix properly. So we are trying to make it as good as possible to actually make it make the shooting as fun as possible for you to enjoy.
Exactly. So this was quite a long stream already. So if you have any questions, we still have time to answer one more. So
yes, please.
Last question. Does anyone have any questions, put them in the chat right now. This is the right time to do that, or else we will go without answering any. Anyway, I really hope that you guys did enjoy it. Today's dev stream. Hopefully we have answered all of the questions that might have arisen with the pushback of the full release of the game and with the whole vibe and stuff like that. So yeah. Let's see, can we have nighttime versions of the maps?
Like, this is something that we've discussed a lot. The thing is that the nighttime doesn't seem to be as fun for us to play with.
Yeah,
like,
as appealing, because we really love the environment and to play around with it. So if you like put visuals, everything in green and black.
Yeah, like, yeah, indeed, having some night vision goggles, stuff like that would help. But yeah, playing just monochromatic game doesn't feel like something that we are actually working on.
Okay, so this was the last question. Thank you all guys for watching today, and hopefully see you in another Vigor dev stream. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.